Crystal Things, the
Happy
podcast.
December.
Yes, happy December.
Okay.
But y'all know this is the podcast where we are on some manifest your life.
Come on now.
Manifest. Yeah. Shift your mind and raise the consciousness type of
That's
shit.
what I'm here for.
I am Christy.
And I am Mia. And you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour or so. So last week, you guys, real quick, we did something for the first time.
That was fun.
And we did an event where we did a live recording, and we invited you all to come join us and talk about various topics, and we had a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked our queens who joined us whether or not this is something we should do again. So we're going to do this again, you guys.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that. And it was a really good time. Like, seriously.
We really did have a good time.
And I really enjoy connecting with I really enjoy connecting with people. Really.
I guess like it's almost like we are meeting our tribe. Like,
yes,
you know, like
it was wonderful.
Being able to talk about
you.
stuff that's been on our heart or that we've been experiencing that you haven't had an opportunity to talk to anyone. Like, I don't really talk to anyone outside of you or like our circle.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no one that I can talk to. So just engaging with other people who have the same type of questions.
And hearing
it was
great.
What
you guys have gone through and the questions, it was dope. So
and even hearing how it helped.
Do that again.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again.
So what we got on the agenda today?
Ooh, y'all.
It's December 1st, by the way. Y'all.
It is December 1st. Like, where did the time go? Does anyone else feel like the time is moving fast? Like, faster?
Oh.
Like, it's moving faster for me. It's interesting. Okay,
Absolutely.
Excuse me. So today is going to be a juicy episode. I think it's going to be juicy. But today we're talking about trusting the process of your spiritual journey. And for some reason, I don't know why, but this is the most difficult thing for us to do.
Ooh!
I don't know why, but before we dive into this,
okay. It's a little sketchy. Okay.
Right, a little sketchy. So before we get into this, let's simplify what it is that we mean by trust the process. And we're basically, and I know that everyone says it like, trust it, it'll be fine, trust the process.
Let's talk about what we're talking about.
So we're talking about letting go and having faith that things will eventually work out in its own time.
In the way
that's what it means.
You created it to be
right.
What?
Hello. And that's something that we need to remember, that we created this for us to learn specific lessons.
Yeah. I told Christy, we were, we this is our catch up time. We be adulting during the week. So when we get to kind of connect and catch up with each other, I would tell you that trusting the process is something that I have learned in a whole nother level. And I would definitely put it on the top 5. Honestly, top 3, if I'm really keeping it real. A list of the most rewarding life lessons. Because honestly, trusting the process is about faith to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about the areas of life that benefit from having faith, there isn't one area, relationship in your life that does not benefit from having faith.
And that's true.
And whether it's faith in you, faith in what you created, faith in time, faith in that all things will eventually work out on its own.
Yeah. So think about it. So I don't know if you all have had this situation, but I had this situation happen when I was 19. And I wasn't planning on going to college outside of high school. My plan was to just dance after high school. So I purposefully didn't take the ACT or the SAT. My parents didn't check on me. I was the third child. Whatever. I wasn't killing myself. That's all that mattered.
You're like, stay alive.
Right. They're like, she's good. She's still breathing. But so I was like, I'm moving to New York. So anyway, ended up dancing and whatever. And my parents hated it. But I got to a point where I had to tell them, like, I ended up leaving school for 2 years because I got into this school. And I moved to New York, and I did not tell my mother until the day before I was leaving that I was doing this.
Yay.
I had a conversation with my father, and he understood as an artist. He understood. But my mother, I didn't tell her until the day before, but I told her, I was like, I just have to do this. There's something in me that's telling me I have to do this. And it's not telling me that it's not going to work out. It's telling me that everything's going to be fine.
And I don't have a plan yet.
I don't have a plan. And even though to them it sounded crazy, I was just like, but it's going to be fine. Like, how much money do you have in your pocket, Christy? I had $10. Thinking that I had a little something. Like, how stupid is that? But
it worked out.
It worked out.
But Christy, what's interesting is that 19 is when I left and moved to Atlanta.
That is so funny.
University of Illinois. And my parents were like, why full scholarship? What are you doing? I'm like, I'm gonna need y'all to roll with me on
I
this
just
one.
got to.
I mean, my parents made me do a whole presentation and all this crazy stuff, but that's a whole nother story. But the truth of the matter is, I have blind faith. And sometimes when we're younger, blind faith is easy to come by. Blind faith in yourself. You know, sometimes you got to be damn near delusional to believe in yourself and believe in something that you cannot see, but you know it's to come.
Yeah.
So we want to talk, that's part of trusting the process.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if that's something that we really talk about because sometimes it's difficult to vocalize. Like, what does that exactly mean?
But we hear it all the time.
We do.
And I know for a fact that I say it to clients, and because I'm sensitive to what that sounds like, I break it down for them, what it means for them in their life.
Right.
But I mean, it's one of those buzzwords. Trust the process. Trust the process.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting. If you look up where that came from, the first thing that'll pop up is like it came from some coach who said about his team, trust the process, and I laughed my ass off. So I'm like, boy, y'all crazy as hell.
Where did it
like,
come from?
baby, trust the process it's a universal law. It's always been there. Because again, we're talking about faith. Hell, trust the process. God said that to Moses on the mountain. Trust the process. Moses' life was trust the process. They spent 40 years in a goddamn wild. Like, come on, y'all. So it's the way that we speak it now. When we say trust your process, we're really talking about faith. But the real question is, and this is where it gets good, faith in what?
So I will say that the more, and we've talked about this before, like the more you spend time with yourself and the more you get to know like who you are, then your faith gets to a point, like, let's talk about,
right.
Your faith gets to a point where it's like, oh, okay, I'm that bitch. Oh, okay. Wait,
Man, y'all, I literally just said to Christy, y'all can't tell me nothing about what I can create in my life because I've trusted the process. We're going to get into it, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to get into it.
I'm just good, like, woo! So first things up, y'all.
Man, and so we were talking about this earlier too, is release and control.
Come on. Yes.
And it's so interesting how we've had similar situations. So I had a situation, you're blushing a little bit. So I had a situation where, and I'm just going to talk it as if whatever, it's past. But I had this situation where I was with this guy and he couldn't choose. So I got to a point where I was like, well, as much as I really want this to happen, I'm not into forcing, and it's just time for me to move on. So bye-bye. I'm moving on with my life. And I've tried that before, but this time it was different.
Wait, no, because this time you meant that shit.
This time I meant it.
For yourself.
Yes.
It's just like, I'm going to be okay regardless.
Yeah. Like, I am going to be okay. And when that was me releasing control. Because before I was like, well, no, this has to happen. I just have to do this. I have to do this. When I tell you, when you let go of that, everything changes.
There is something to detachment. And
well, because your energy is not flowing there anymore.
Exactly. So I think people sometimes confuse the idea of detachment with being like, I don't give a fuck.
Or I don't want it anymore. Yeah.
That's not
Yep.
that's not what we're saying. That's when we talking about trusting the process and having faith. I can release this and let it go because I have faith that seed that I planted is coming back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So I can let that go.
Times 3.
And the only thing that we can control, you guys, is you. You can control yourself.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can control is me. I can only control my reaction to things.
Yep.
So it's not what happens to us in our lives. It's our response to it. That's what you can control.
Exactly.
So when we focus on that part, it's you're living a little different. You're walking outside some timelines that people aren't necessarily comfortable with.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that as little as 10% of the external world, so things that happen outside of us, only 10% actually influences your happiness. So if we went with that, let's just go with that. So that means 90% of my life and my happiness is dependent on me. God damn, that's powerful. Why? Like, so if that's truth, why would I release that and try to control the things that I cannot?
Yeah.
Period.
And I tell, I say this a lot. Maybe I say this, I don't know. I probably say this to my partner, but that's putting a lot of pressure on somebody. When you are expecting them to make you happy,
man,
that's putting a lot of pressure on somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's too much. Like, we need to like, if you want to pour into a full glass, that's your business, but it's full.
I mean, and look, when we get to the relationship part of this, honestly, because if you really think about it, you guys, you actually, if you really put your brain and your heart and understand who it is that you are, you wouldn't want to release your happiness to somebody else. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
You would not want to release the reins of how it is that you feel in your day-to-day life
to someone else.
Because you have no control over that.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard to see when you're in the middle of it, because it's like, I love this person and like, you're my everything.
Right.
No, baby.
You're not making me. It's like, well, that's not my job. That's yours.
And real talk, while it can seem admirable that someone wishes to make it their life to make you happy, you got to think about who's making them happy. If you giving yourself completely to somebody else, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't want to be with somebody who's not completely into them. I need you to love you. For real. Let me tell you something. Man tell you, I love me, I know who I am, panties wet.
Panties wet.
That's sexy as hell to me. Because I know, because I'm going through it. I'm there with you. I know what you have gone through in your life to be able to look at yourself like, fuck with me. So that's something sexy. So because I know that you understand, you can't control me. You don't want to. You just got to trust who you are. And when you love yourself and trust who you are, you know that the people that I choose to be around my life are on the same vibration.
Yeah. And honestly, I will say, if not, then it will change. That will soon change. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because once you change, then your circle around you also changes.
Everything changes.
But so something else that you can do is look at all the ways in your life where we trust the process.
Already.
Like the situation when I moved to New York at 19. I had $10 in my pocket.
And look what happened.
My parents had this bet.
They had a bet on you, crazy.
They had this bet. I mean, it wasn't like monetary, because my mother didn't believe in that stuff. But
that would be gambling.
Right. But she was like, oh yeah, she'll be back in like a month. Like, I promise you. Like, this is, because I had $10 in my pocket.
I just want y'all to know, Christy has not moved back to her parents' house since. And her grown. This 20 years later.
Right.
No, more than 20 years later.
Yeah.
This is 28, just damn near 30 years later.
Damn.
Your mama lost that bed.
Yeah. Well, I moved back. I didn't move back a month later, but I moved 7.5 years. 7.5 years. Yeah, I was there. We moved back after 9/11 because we were living in New York during 9/11. But yeah. And that's the situation. Trust the process. I had no idea, but that's probably one of the most important phases of my life.
I'll tell you this. When I think about even things that we don't think about, we allow them to happen without trying to control it. For instance, when I go to sleep, I trust that I'm gonna wake up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not even a thought. It is, I have more life to live, and I have faith, and I trust that. I go to sleep, I close my eyes. I'm not scared, like, ooh, let me make sure I wake up. I trust that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I trust that when I nourish my body with food, that it'll give me the energy that I need to live my life. And whatever I don't need, I trust that my body will expel it. I trust my body wholly and completely to do what it's supposed to do without even thinking about it.
There you go.
And that's like, it's not even a thought. Yeah. I have completely detached.
Like, think about
from
us
thinking
breathing.
About baby.
It's not even a
breathing.
thought.
I don't think about. I'm not attached to the idea of am I breathing. I trust that it's
And think
happening.
about when we get into a car, we trust the process. Like, we don't get in the car thinking or knowing that we're going to get into an accident. It's just like we trust.
Things happen, and you can respond when things happen.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that we are often walking around trusting things that are outside of us.
That's true.
To happen the way that we expect them to happen. But when we talk about trusting ourselves and what it is that we are creating for our own lives, we get stupid all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing to me. That's amazing. Another thing, you guys, and this is one of my favorites. Trusting that the struggles, the challenges that we face are a means to an end. I often think about mommies, women who, and
we were talking
we're
about
all
this
mommies,
earlier.
but I mean, when I say like motherhood, I'm talking about the birthing process, right?
Mm.
There is the pregnancy, and there's this process that happens, and it gets rough during that. Getting pregnant, carrying the baby, but that is something that almost every woman that I know who has had a child or is trying to conceive, that's a struggle that we're willing to take.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a means to an end.
Right.
Like, I know so many women who are what the medical industry will call, they have, what do they call it? Geriatric uterus? Is that what they call it?
Maybe
something like I can't remember, but
like older women who want to conceive.
Grown women.
Yeah,
grown ass women who want children, and they will go through willingly walk into a struggle because they know it's a means to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And then hold on, once the child is here, any mom, I don't care how the child got here, that's a struggle.
It really is. Parenting.
We willingly go into this knowing it's a struggle because it's a means to an end.
And because we trust the process.
Because we trust the process. Anybody successfully in a business right now, running a business, it's not everything's going to happen the day you open it. Hell, it's a struggle, but you willingly do that because you trust the process. You trust what it is that you are creating. Yep. But when we think about our entire lives, somehow we get caught and don't trust that we can make it happen, but we do this shit all the damn time. And the struggles and the challenges are a means to an end to prepare us to be able to live in that successfully. So now I welcome the struggle. You know, we talk about this all the time.
Yeah, because we know that's on the other side.
Baby.
Whoo, because things we don't imagine.
Hey.
Things that we would never think.
Talk about that. Don't get wrapped up in that.
No.
Don't get wrapped up in the challenges.
And I'm working on that. I have to admit.
Focus on what we're creating.
I have to admit that I'm a work in progress.
I actually think it's kind of funny that it happened right at that time because it allows us to be real about that. Like, we can get upset about it.
I'm working on it.
The computers, it looked like we had 35%. It decided to shut off. What we're going to do, get mad?
Didn't give me a warning, nothing.
Nope.
But it's like, what's going to, like, you getting upset, what is that going to do? How does that help?
It doesn't in any way. But we stay focused on, we want to make sure that we get this episode out and talk to our queens and kings out there. So we focus on that, and we just gonna keep it pimping. But when we do get wrapped up in the challenges, it takes us away from what it is that we are actually trying to do. Mm-hmm. So as things happen, instead of saying, "Woe is me, why is this happening to me? Spirit has abandoned me. Why hast thou forsaken me?" When we start to look at challenges or setbacks as preparation, that's something different. And look at it's preparing me from what I am creating. Mm-hmm. So I say this. Remember, we just talked about this, you guys. The best thing you can do for your life when you are creating or manifesting something is take away the thought, the idea of, is this going to happen? Put in your head, what I'm creating is happening. So anything that happens against that, it seems like it's happening against that. Know that it's all happening for your greatest good and for what it is that you are creating.
And when you trust the process.
And trust the process.
And when I tell you that absolutely works.
It works.
And you have to, and just like it's a muscle, you have to practice it.
Yes.
Because it's not something where it's just like all of a sudden, okay, I'm going to think this way. No, you have battles. There are times where my thoughts, I was talking to you earlier, there are times where you have thoughts. It happens. Again, we are spiritual beings living this human existence. And so we have stuff that comes in. But honestly, we just have to know we are in control of this ship. This is how we built it. Mm-hmm. And we would never build it for us to fail. You have to trust that process.
We definitely gonna hit on that. So,
which is perfect because it brings us to having faith in you.
Come on. That's the part. So remember a few minutes ago I said, you know, it's about having faith, but faith in what? Mm-hmm. So I would tell you that, all of you guys, that I am for anything. I don't care what religion, system, lineage, whatever name you put on it. Anything that brings people back to themselves and knowing the God in themselves, I'm all for it. So when we talk about having faith, it's faith in you and what you created. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you guys what has gotten me through so many different processes. For real. I'm living this right now. Christina is talking about is when it seems like the SHIT is hitting the fan, I have to remind myself, it ain't no Mickey Ficky way. I know good and damn well that I didn't create it to fail. I know good and damn well that it doesn't end like this. So whatever is happening right now, let me get through this and understand this, bring this lesson with me because I need this tool. It's sharpening my sword.
Right.
It's sharpening my tools to continue to create because I have enough faith in myself, in my higher self, to know that I'm always guiding myself as my God self. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
spiritual being. I know for a freaking fact I am a spiritual being just having a human experience. So when I think about who's running this, it's the highest self. It's my God self. It's
Yeah.
my spiritual self. So whatever it is that I'm going through, I trust me.
Yeah.
If I don't trust anything else out here,
Trust
any
me.
other person, any system, nothing. What I can trust and believe in is me. And if it does not look like what it is that I know I'm creating, I gotta trust. Hold on, baby. Chill out. You know good and goddamn well that that's not how this ends for you.
Yeah.
So let's just get through this so we can keep moving forward.
Yeah.
That's real faith in you. So when we talk
Mm-hmm.
about trusting the process, we're not saying step out of yourself and believe in something that's not you. We saying believe in you. Is
Yeah.
this what you created for your life? So it may not look like what you're creating. It may not look like what it is that you've manifested at this time. But if you trust, like I said earlier, take away the thought, the question, is it going to happen? I hope it
Mm-hmm.
happens. Cross your fingers. Oh, please, please, please. When you remove that shit, and I'm like, yeah, it's happening.
It's
It's like
happening.
it is. Like I said it.
Yeah. And then
I
it
created it.
also
I
it
declared it. It's
yeah.
fucking done. When you get to that space, hey, all this other stuff is just steps along the way.
Yeah. I was gonna say, but it also helps to build that self trust muscle, and
Yes.
that's what I was saying earlier. Like
It's a
it's like a
must.
muscle;
Yep.
you have to
Yeah.
practice it.
Yep.
But you said something, and I know we have said this before that some of the things that we manifest or that we desire to attract into our lives, it may not look or may not be packaged the way that we think.
Mm.
But when it's the right time, it's gonna come. And again, that's just something that you have to trust. And also, timing is everything. We were talking about that earlier. Timing is everything. Everything in due time. Because sometimes it's like, man, if I had known or if this happened earlier, well, maybe you weren't in the right space, in the right headspace
You know what?
earlier.
I got rid of the idea. I used to say this all the time. Man, if I knew then what I know now, woo, child, I'd be. But the truth of the matter is, I guarantee you everything that I have learned through wisdom and experience. I guarantee you somebody has said to me before. I guarantee you I've heard it before but I didn't own it.
Mm.
So I may have heard it. I may have had knowledge of certain things, but I didn't have the wisdom, the power that comes from experiencing and going through something and coming out on this other side is. I mean, if we're gonna put something on the level of 1 to 10, that's a 50. And somebody giving you words in a book that say, "Hey, this is what this is," it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
For me, I can only speak for me. You can talk to me until you blow in the face, but if it's something that I cannot own within myself to get that lesson, it's not gonna work for me. That's just me. Some people, that's how they learn. All they need to do is hear it. I need to hit my head, unfortunately.
Yeah, and some people are like that. No, and
I'm
I'm one of those people. I have to experience it.
Yep.
It's not enough for me to just hear about it or read about it or see it. I need to experience it. That's how I learn.
I came down
Right.
here to. I'm a participator.
Right.
I came down here to be a part of this.
I might be shy in some respects, but
in this lifetime, in this human body, in this time for a specific reason.
mm-hmm.
There are people though, real talk, who came to observe.
No, that is true.
Like real talk. And that's a beautiful motherfucking thing just to be able to sit back and just be like, I'm just observing this. And that's a very small amount of the population. But I know me. I got to be honest with myself.
Let me get dirty.
I'm in this. I need to feel every
everything
iota of, and that's how I create.
Yep.
I'm a creator. I'm a manifester. And the way that I do it is by doing it. When I say I'm in the water. I'm in here. I'm in the deep end. I'm not in the shallow end watching all this stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
that's how I chose to be in this lifetime. And it took me a good, like, no, I mean, I'm keeping it funky with y'all. Like, it took me a minute to realize that, oh no, because I'd be like, why is this happening? Or why do I feel so much? I used to think that
Oh, that's recent for me.
the sensitivity was a weakness until I started understanding that me being able to feel anything is my
It's your
motherfucking
superpower.
superpower.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not an observer.
Yeah.
And we have a good friend who's an observer. She's an observer. One of our good friends. Mine's just an observer. I'm a feeler. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so you got to be comfortable in what it is in the space that you're in. For me to create my life, I gotta feel every piece and particle. Okay, y'all, pause for real. Just imagine you being in your spiritual self. I'm about to record this because, like, this is real. This is how I think about this in real life. You being in your spiritual self, and you say, "Hey, okay, I got it. I can do a couple of things. Where do I want to go next? Where does my soul want to manifest itself?" And say, "Hey, I can go down to earth and I can feel all type of feelings, like actually experience them, not watch it happen, but I can feel it, the highs and the lows." And you got to think about spiritually, it's all the same. It's a vibration. So whether or not it's above or below what I call like our line of demarcation is depending on how you judge it.
It's all the same.
But I get to go and I get to feel all of this. Fuck yes, count me in. I'm in. I am in.
Sign me up.
I mean, I signed my name on the dot. Yeah, come on. And so when I think about even the hard times, I have to be honest with myself. When I really look at it, when I get into observer mode and sit back and look, like, that shit still felt good. And I do that shit again.
And I know I said this. I know I said this in one of our episodes, but there was so one of my angelic Reiki teachers was, and I know I said this before.
Yes.
But she talked about how she really appreciated her life and being able to experience the highs and the lows.
Able
to feel
this and experience this.
She was like, this is so amazing. No matter how hard it feels. And when she said that, I was just like, wow, like, how do you get to, well, at first I was like, how do you even get to that space? But now I'm there.
Yeah, you know, we've talked about this. That was something that once I realized, I'm like, the tears, that pain, there's beauty in
there really
pain
is.
To me.
There really is.
Because I know without a doubt there's certain natural and universal laws that I know no matter what, nobody can tell me anything different. I know for a freaking fact, the deeper I go, the higher I go. And I have, baby, if I've been digging down, I'm at the core. I've been to the middle earth. I kicked down there. I have friends down there. And that means that it's like a pendulum. When you think about a pendulum, if it goes so many degrees this way, it's going the other degrees the other way. As below, as above. You know what I mean? Like all of that. So
that's true. I never thought of that.
Like, man, what I'm walking into now, when Chris, we just talked about this, switching timelines, the timeline just switched, my pendulum going the other way. Wait a minute. Ooh, child. Baby. And I'm here for it. But there's nothing, when I say nothing, and you know, we've talked about this, you guys, some of the depths there is nothing I wouldn't do again, because I know what I created for my life.
We talked about that. We always know what's on the other side.
I'm all in.
And your pendulum did It did go the other way.
Baby, my pendulum went all the way over there. It's like, but it's coming all the way back the other
It
way.
really is.
And time is relevant. Like it's not even fucking real, to be quite honest.
Okay, so then let me
you.
ask you. So then, did you trust the process?
Okay, honestly, today the way that I trust the process is like ridiculous. Like, there were times I would say that I had blips in and out.
Okay.
There are times I'm like, okay, I trusted. But sometimes when you in the middle of you like, wait a minute.
It's like, oh.
Woo, child. Because time.
Mm-hmm.
It's all because of time. If I could take away as a human, live this life and not get caught up in that time construct, it was so much easier to trust the process. But the truth of the matter is, time is something that we're dealing with as a human, like that we chose. Hey, we chose to be down here. This is what we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
However, as my God self, I know that's not even fucking real. It's not. I can choose whatever time it is that I choose to trust and believe in at that moment. So I went in and out of trusting the process, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I trusted the process and didn't know that that's what I was doing until I got to the other side. Until I got to the other side of that pendulum swing. Then I'm like, oh, shoot, wait. Dang. If this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have this. Mm-hmm. If this hadn't happened, I wouldn't understand this. So, if I'm honest, it was in and out.
Yeah.
But today,
but I do feel like trusting, I mean, just like we were saying with everything else, it's like a muscle.
Yes.
Like you don't just, especially, once you get to a certain age, it's not just like, oh, I just automatically trust. It's like, no, I've been through some shit, so.
And I'm on the other side of it. That's
right.
the thing. When we talked about that muscle, like that's why we have to remind ourselves of the things that everybody has been through something.
Everybody.
There's some pain, some struggles. But you're still here. If you're listening to this, you're still here.
You are still here.
That means you're on the other side of something. You're on the other side of something. Now, truth be told, you could be listening to this. You could be in the middle of something trying to get to the other side. But you can trust that the other side is coming when you start to look back and be like, oh, wait a minute. Woo, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I'm on the other side of
That's
that
what I
piece.
came through, right.
I look at, and I'm still here to be able to even, like, we talk about first world problems. Mm-hmm. Like when I look at some of the things where I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like, really?
What am I gonna wear? I have nothing to wear.
Right. It's like
that's me.
I'm on the other side of certain things, and I've made it through so much, and I'll tell you this: if we're gonna keep it 100, the struggle for me when I'm in the middle of a challenge, and I understand, because now I understand. Like I know what this is. Mm-hmm. Let's figure this out. Is when you have loved ones, family, and friends who are hurting, looking at what they believe is pain for you, and they want to make it better, but you cool, it kind of messes with people who love you. And what I've had to learn how to do is detach myself from somebody else's feelings about what's going on in my life. And it's not because, it's not for any reason other than I trust me. And I don't have the time, the energy, nor the care to explain to you why I trust me in my life. That's the part that fucks us up a little bit, because we like,
that's where I've gone.
I've
gotten to that
point. Let that shit go.
I was just like, why? First of all, why am I caring what you have to say about what how I'm living? Like, why is that?
Because you know what? Because they can't control a damn thing. They can be worried, scared. Right. There's nothing that they can do.
And so this brings us to our next point. Trusting the process brings peace and chaos. Woo-hoo. People will say stuff. People will believe stuff. People will assume stuff. People will do stuff, and you're just like, okay, so I don't have anything to give. I don't know what you were expecting me to give you, but there's nothing.
Well, think about it. When you trust the process and you're in the middle of a challenge, it can seem chaotic. But when we get back to that point I said earlier, I know what it looks like right now. You can call me whatever the heck you want to, delusional, crazy. I know what I created, what I'm making. And I know it doesn't look anything like it right now. That brings me peace because I don't care what's happening right now because I know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because I made it. So when I can trust the process, I trust the God in me. I trust who the hell I am. That's peace that nobody else can give you. You can't, there's nothing anybody who loves me. Like I know you love me. I know you care about me. And you're trying to take my chaos away. But I don't have any chaos, baby, because I got peace. Because I know what I'm doing. For me. I can't speak on you. Right. And I'm not going to let you speak on what I got going on. That, when you trust your process, it does not matter what anybody says, what anybody thinks. Like, why are you doing it? Hey, I got this. So I'm not even going to argue with you. Right. Like, I'm not, because this is my process. And I trust my process.
And that's something that I realize
need you to trust your process for you. Stay out of my shit. Stay in your sandbox. As my sister said, well, stay on your mat. We stay on your mat. You in a yoga class, don't come over here trying to help. I may look like I'm wobbling in these poses right now.
Stay on your mat.
Stay over there with yours. I got this, baby. I appreciate the love and the good vibrations you send in my way, but I have peace in what I'm going through right now because I trust me.
And again, I have to go back to that time that I moved to New York when I was 19. There was nothing that could have told me otherwise. I was like, okay, I have $10 in my pocket, so what?
Yeah, what isn't, wait, like for a, can we, like, what is it about youth that makes us feel invisible? It's so much easier in our youth to trust ourselves. Well, when I say people,
because it's almost like we don't have anything to lose.
Like, what is that? Is that what it is? I'm like, because when I'm young,
I don't know.
Being younger, when you have
you have nothing to lose.
I have everything to gain when I'm younger. You know, when you're married, you have children, you have a job that. Like now, I've created this life.
It's like you're at the bottom
we get afraid when you're young to lose what we've created.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about that. How can you be to create something that you've never had? You got to do something you've never done.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, that saying, scared money don't make money. So I can't be scared to do something I've never done to reach heights that I've never seen. But we get comfortable and we allow fear to come in and be like, you're going to lose this. Yes, I'm going to lose where I am because I got to let this go to go where I'm going.
That part. You got to,
for some people, I got to walk away from this job. It pays me so well. And I say for some people, I'm talking about me. I'm good. But I'm on one. And when I tell you, I'm telling y'all, for real, my friends was like, you done lost your Mickey Ficky mind, my family. And it's just like, I don't understand. I unfortunately
trusted the process.
Because I trust me, because I've been through enough. I've come over so much. I understand who I am and I love myself so much. I don't even have the energy to explain to you why you just need to trust me about my shit. I'm not in your stuff telling you how to live your life. I trust that you know what you're doing for your life.
There you go.
And all I ask for my tribe, for my people, for my loved ones, is to ride with me. For me. Let me do me. If I fall, I don't want to hear, I told you so, because I trust that if
help
I fall,
to pick me
it's
up
for a reason.
And help to pick me up.
And help to pick me up. I got you. But I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I can't be scared for you. Don't be scared for me. I don't even want that damn scared energy. Keep that over there.
Do not put the energy out there.
Don't put that.
No.
I'm on creator energy. So then the other thing is like we're talking about. What we have to understand, you guys, we are the sum of our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why self-love, we talk about this so much, you guys, it's so very important.
It really is.
Let's talk about it. So for all our people, because look, it's a real process, y'all, for real. But let's talk about, for everyone who's listening to this and you look at yourself and you be like, man, I've gotten to a place, I rock with me. And anybody who's been listening to us from the beginning, y'all have heard our process to the point where we, like, y'all know we rock with ourselves. Okay.
It took time, though.
It took some time. It took
time.
Me trusting the process. But if you truly love who you are right now, today, there's no way that you can't trust the process, because you trust what you've been through to get where you are today. And I know for a fact, I'll challenge anybody on this one. If you love yourself for real, truly, you've been through something. You've come out of something. You've probably been through a couple few for real things. So if you are the sum of your experiences and everything counts, even the challenges are freaking beautiful, because you wouldn't be who you are today. And if you love and trust who you are today, the stuff that you look at was like, ooh, that was a thing, made you who you are today. It's a part of it too. It's all a part of the grand story of your soul.
But it doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't.
And I don't want people to be like, yeah, I heard your episode and it's been 2 weeks since I listened and nothing happened.
But some of y'all might be 2 weeks. Right. I just say, it wasn't 2 weeks for me. It wasn't 2 years for me.
No, it really wasn't.
Shit, it wasn't 2 decades.
It has taken us some time to get to this point.
But I love it.
Me too.
Man, ooh.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
But so something that some of us may feel is like a real challenge is that in-between phase. Okay, so not what you were, but not what you are yet. So
it's like
you're not this and you're not that yet. You just start.
I call it the WTF stage.
What the fuck?
For real.
And this phase, like, you really just have to trust it. It's like, what am I doing here?
It's like I'm not who I was. I know I've released some things. I've held myself accountable. Like, no, we're gonna keep it for real. Right. Like, y'all, I'm not her. I'm not there anymore.
But I'm not who I envision myself to be yet.
That gooey, icky. You in the chrysalis.
Yeah.
You in the in-between.
You really are.
And to me, and let me know what you think, Tracy, I think that's one of the most dangerous parts for people's spiritual journey, because that's oftentimes where people give up, because you're like,
that's what I was saying.
Man, like, dude, I did the work.
Yeah, that's when people give up.
Why am I not here?
That's when people give up. And then I feel like they are forever in that stage.
The trust the process.
Right.
That, to me, that is where trust the process is. Trust the process is the most difficult, because you in this in-between icky,
and you can't see anything. You can't see anything.
You can't see anything. Like, damn, look at all this work I did. I'm so much better, but I'm not there. What the holy?
Right.
Like, this is some bullshit. You can feel like it's some bullshit that you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled. That part, that's when the faith,
right.
This is when it gets real.
It's like, can I have some wings at least?
Can I
get? No, you can't. It's just mush right now.
It's mush.
You just sit here right now. Just sit.
It's the transformation.
It really is.
Rebirth. And you guys, look, I'm speaking from experience on this one. That part, that in between.
Yeah, in between.
Yeah, one day we're gonna talk about my in between stage. This entire year has been my mush stage. I've been in the chrysalis when it comes to relationship. But baby, when I say these wings that just popped out my back,
bloop bloop.
Ooh, child.
It's amazing though. Like I
When
think
if
it's
I,
so
it's
such
woo.
a wonderful experience.
I love. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I really am. But that to me is one of the most dangerous parts in our process and our
Yeah.
journey of life when we are in those times where I'm not that, but I ain't that. What the hell? Like, what is happening? That's when you
You're
start
just
getting
in
upset with
between, right?
spirit. That's when you start saying, like, see, here go the bullshit. Y'all got me. You're like, mm-mm. I trusted. I went through the process. I held myself accountable. I have dragged myself through so much to get to the other side. I'm not in the darkness, but I don't quite see the sun yet. Where am I? I call it the when you are driving down the interstate and you see your exit, you're like, woo, finally, I'm here. And you stuck on the off ramp. It's like, that you get off that exit, that little thing you go around.
Yep.
You're not off yet. I'm not on the interstate. I'm not there anymore.
You're in between.
But I'm not on that road. I'm on that in between. It's like, how freaking long is this off ramp? That's where it gets dangerous. I think a lot of people give up.
Right. Sometimes it's short and sometimes it's just a little longer.
It's like, y'all know that where you come in and it curves all the way around, almost does like a, you're like, wait. That is, that's that WTF. What the hell? What the hotter?
Excuse me.
How did I get here?
I know. But that's like, you really do have to like have this endurance, especially like on the spiritual walk, because there are times where we'll have lessons where there are some short lessons like, okay, that was quick. Okay, thank you. I got that. And then there are some lessons that are like weeks, months, years long.
Facts.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Yes.
Like I've been doing everything. But then once everything starts unfolding,
I've been doing everything.
Everything. And then once everything unfolds and once you start seeing like what you manifested.
The other thing that happens. Wait, we're going to keep it real. This is the other thing that happens during this phase, y'all. You know how you stood up for yourself against your naysayers. You're like, no, I'm doing this. I believe in myself. I trust myself. And when you're in the middle of the stage, somebody catch you and they be like, yeah, how's that going for you now? Woo, baby. Like, and you have nothing to say or give because you are still figuring it out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you listen to somebody else or trust somebody else, they will make you think that you messed up. That you're not, that like, that's what your silly butt get. I told you, blah,
and
blah,
they'll
blah,
make you
blah.
think you are crazy.
And it will make you think, when I say this is the most pivotal part in your journey where you have to trust yourself.
Don't give up.
Don't give up on yourself. Because you got to think about what you've been through and how you got here. You're just on the off ramp, baby.
Yeah.
It's 20 miles an hour on the off ramp. You've been going 75, 80 on the E-way, on the highway, and now you're on the off ramp. You got to slow down because you're in a chrysalis. You're in a cocoon. It's developing. Mm-hmm. You're not what you were, but you're not what you are quite yet. That's the hard part. And this is when you really, when I say you got to trust your process and block out everybody. And this is why during that, on the interstate, that's where you learn to love yourself. Because all of that learning to love yourself and trust yourself, you're going to need that when you're going 20 miles per hour on that off ramp.
Woo!
Real talk.
No, that really is. Okay, so,
bars.
Mic drop. Okay, so what is your takeaway?
Trust yourself. I feel, you know what? It's so interesting. I feel like we've said this so many times because it's true. When I talk about it, in my takeaway, and the other thing is faith in yourself. I don't care. You have to trust. When you're in the middle of something that seems absolutely befuddling, like crazy.
I'm befuddled.
What? You have to stop and think, wait a minute, hold on. I know me. There is no way that I created it to end like this. this ain't my ending. I'm still in the process.
Right.
I know for a freaking fact I didn't come down here to be this. So let me chill out for a minute.
There you go.
Trust that process. What you got, Christy? What's your takeaway?
So my takeaway for this, I mean, of course, I'm going to piggyback and say trust yourself. But I want to say this, and maybe I'll probably need to expand on it. But I'm going to say live your life, like just keep living.
Absolutely.
Because one thing that I realized in all of this stuff, is when there's something that we really desire, something that we want to manifest, we put so much energy and desire and effort and, there's so much of ourselves in that thing, and it just has to work. And we make it, or we force it. We force this circle into this square hole.
Yes.
But one of the things that I'm realizing is that we have to live. We can't just like focus so much of our energy towards this one thing for it to happen. And there was that detachment thing. Like we just got to let it go and have faith and know.
Oh, Christy. Yes. That's a word, baby.
And it's like you still have to live. Like just because you're in this in-between space, this stage of like waiting.
Because all the things matter. Every moment matters.
Every moment.
Every experience matters. Every relationship matters. It's all important. There's nothing that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And where you put your energy matters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you constantly put your energy into something that, I want it, then you're constantly going to be wanting it. It will never happen.
Mm-hmm.
So just live your life. I mean, yes, if you have something, you set intentions, you manifest it, trust that it will happen. And keep living your life.
Y'all, I have to put my fork down a little bit. Christy and I were talking before we started this episode, and I was literally in tears because what I've trusted the process for. Y'all, when I tell you damn near word for word, bar for bar, what I was manifested in my life has manifested. You can't tell me a dang thing. And when I say, I promise you, there's not one person, except for my spiritual sisters, because y'all understand on that level. My kings and queens understand. But I'm telling y'all, people in my life, that I have lost my damn mind. Like, I don't know what she on. But they also know y'all better not say nothing to her because she crazy. But I know, I can feel the energy. Like, I don't think she knows what she's doing. And what I had to do for myself to trust it. I got this. Woo! And let me tell you something. It's been plenty of times I was like, hell no. Everything, that patience, the trust in yourself, that blind faith, being freaking delusional. For me, though, it all paid off.
It really does.
You cannot.
Can't tell me nothing.
Nothing. And this is real. And so when I think about, I like to, y'all know I like alliteration. I like to think about, and I like threes. I like to think about life as in 3Ds. The divinity. If I believe in my divine self, my God self, anything that I desire from my divine self, because I believe myself and who the fuck I am, I know who I am as God. Anything that I desire from that point when I know what I am is done. Period. And so that's why I say when we get caught up in this time thing, y'all, that's the part that gets us jacked up. and I'm speaking from experience, this is real. That time thing is, but when it finally becomes done, declared, signed, sealed, and delivered, it's because you tapped into your God self. That's when we talk about trusting yourself, knowing who you are, loving yourself. You create your life. You design this. And we get away from people, from living our lives according to what others, anything outside of us, that 10%.
Don't do it. Don't do
and
it.
We get caught up in that instead of living the 90% of everything that we can control about ourselves.
Right.
Man.
I have to tell you, now I feel like I am finally living my life. Like, I feel like now I'm living.
Your life.
Right.
What you want.
Right.
For you.
Yes. Amen.
All y'all.
All that.
All that.
D.
It's my time.
Right.
It's my time.
It's my time.
So, yeah. So, I'm not going to give any temple work today.
Trust the process, y'all. No temple work?
Because we're going to have some temple work later when we get, y'all, it's December. I would say this, December is all about divine alignment. Yeah. It's been a humdinger.
You've had a year.
Yeah, I have. And I'm over here smiling. I'm like, and it's been a year, but I'm like, yeah.
You're like, I earned every bit of this.
I'm here for it. My hands are open. My heart is open. I'm all for it. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So, we're going to have some temple work later as we set our intentions and goals for walking in 2023. It's about to be.
Yeah, 2023 is about to be the bomb. It's about to be litty. Okay, so this week's featured crystal, Nirvana quartz. So this quartz, its element is storm. It's good with all the chakras. Okay, so this particular crystal, Nirvana quartz, resonates at the intersection of past and future time. Ooh. And so this particular crystal, this crystal's mission is to attune us to the not yet formed potential of what we can be. And so these crystals can be conduits. I know. These crystals can be conduits for currents of profound inner illumination. Yet this particular crystal, it's more on the incarnation of enlightenment here and now and in our bodies and earth. And so this crystal is a great ally for meditative work in that it will assist you in assessing inner sources of wisdom and information. And so this is a great crystal. So one of the themes of this particular crystal is trust. So opening to the future, heart-brain synergy, inner silence, trust, and self-acceptance. And so that's one of the reasons why this crystal was selected. And so there's this really cool affirmation that goes with it.
Oh, I love it. Come on.
And it says, I open myself to the unknown future in full trust, and I realize the past with gratitude of how it was blessed or how it has blessed my path with joy and difficulty. Oh, I'm sorry. I misspelled that. Sorry. I open myself to the unknown future in full trust, and I release the past with gratitude of how it has blessed my path with joy and difficulty. So we had talked about this before. Even the challenges, we truly appreciate the lows that we endure. Even being able to feel those emotions of those lows. It's like, wow, I really get to feel this. It's amazing. And mind you, there are some times where it's just it really sucks. But anyway, that's the crystal.
You keep going.
Yeah, you do. Because you trust the process.
I just looked it up.
I know, I'm about to get some.
That looks pretty.
Yeah, there's a pink and a white version.
Okay.
There are so many crystals out there, which I think is so amazing.
So how long have we been talking today?
It's been over an hour.
Dang.
So, it's an hour and 4 minutes now.
Y'all know how. We're gonna do another live coming soon.
Yes, we got your feedback. Thank you.
Some fun stuff. Thank you so much for continuing to listen to us. Share your thoughts.
Share the podcast with people.
Please, you know what? We've been getting some amazing feedback. Look, trust the process. This podcast is an example of trust in the process.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 2 years. Sure, I feel like we should be about 5 million listeners by now. I love
know.
every minute of this because it's our journey. And so you guys have been riding with us. Damn, we love y'all. Because y'all been here with us. For everybody that is just joining us, we love y'all.
Welcome.
Welcome. You can reach us at Two Queens Crystal Things on IG. We respond to every message. Sometimes you might get it immediately.
Yeah, it depends.
It depends.
Know.
But we put thought into it. We're not just, we respond.
Yeah.
We understand.
There are people on the other side.
Right. We understand how important it is and how sometimes it's easier to connect with strangers in this process when you are learning to love on yourself. So that's what we're here for, y'all.
Yes, it is.
So y'all are part of our tribe. We love you. And
yes, thank you.
Follow us. Two Queens Crystal Things. Follow Christy at Christy R. Edwards. Follow me at Wings Unleashed.
Hold on, you're going too fast.
I'm trying to cut it off for these babies.
Okay.
We've been talking.
Okay, so thank you, y'all. Thank you. Light, peace, love, and soul.
Night, night. See you next week.
Bye.